Hello, friends. This is episode 95 of Shadow and Flame of Magic, the podcast. Today we're going to read Free Comic Book Day 2020, X-Men number 1. So let's get to it. And once again, thank you to Francisco for providing the theme song for the podcast. Appreciate it. And you. And this is Free Comic Book Day, X-Men 2020. I mean, I must have gotten it from Kelly's Comics in Great Falls. But And I guess it's just been in my top of my back issue catalog for at least 2 years. And so I guess I've just been putting aside comics I haven't fully read until now. And this is kicking off X of Swords, which of my the dark times where I was relying on podcasts, this is a major hole in the collection where I've heard people talk about X of Swords and then didn't read it for myself. So now that I finished Inferno, I sort of want to look up the 20 issue or 22 issues Wikipedia says is X of Swords, and I mean I know it's pivotal for Doug Ramsey and the Rocco Apocalypse storyline. So, and I'm sure Magic's not involved in it horribly much. So, I am gonna look it up and look at character lists and see what comics I can be expanding my horizon with. The inside cover ad is how to read comics the Marvel way. What does it mean when words are in this kind of box? What's going on in this gutter between panels? Is it dangerous? And where did this weird cloud come from? Pointing to a dialogue box where it's like, all right. So I guess that was just a book that was out at the time. And so this is written by Jonathan Hickman and Teenie Howard, artist Pepe Larraz, who uh, Twitter maybe a week or two ago, I was sharing panels from Access Revolutions 3, which is a story about Kitty Pryde robbing a bank. Because during the Access storyline, personalities get flipped, and so good guys are bad guys are good guys. But then not good guys once again. Like it just gets flipped once, or on its axis, if you will. And turns out that was Pepe Larraz writing, drawing in that. And so I was like, hey, always was great. Color artist is Marte Gracia, who's a legendary X-Men colorist at this point. VC Clayton Cowles is the letterer, who seems like he does a bunch of X-Men work too, which maybe makes sense for VCs. Um, what is it? Is it virtual calligraphy? It does stand for virtual calligraphy. How's that for knowing something? Pretty sure back in Comic Book DB, it had it spelled out every time, so I was like, all right, I see it. And then design is Tom Muir. Cover artist is Pepe Larraz and Marte Garcia, which I should Gracia. And it's X-Men in the new Jonathan Hickman X-Men logo. Logan is falling from somewhere. Storms there. Magic's charging at us. Nightcrawler's bamfing, and Rogue is coming at us as well. And no, 3, 5. Usually I like an X-Men team of 7, but a 5-person team works just as well. But this is a pretty great team. Like it literally has everything you wanted. Mostly Magic. And Storm. And Kurt. So, get the Rogue and Wolverine. Awesome. Production, Nick Russell. Head of X, Jonathan Hickman. Assistant editor, Annalise Biza, who I've heard on Cerebro at least twice now, I think. Editor Jordan D. White and Editor-in-Chief C.B. Shabowski. This is X-Men Free Comic Book Day 2020. X-Men created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. And this is also promoting the Dark Ages crossover that has not survived to test the time. And this just came out 3 years ago, so some forgotten place, some forgotten time. And we see like a moose or a bull Oh, yeah, these are the Krakoan Gates, a fish lady who looks like someone Namor made out with in Kieran Gillen's Uncanny X-Men run. And then two people with like Doctor Who uh, fancy head garbs. And the fish is like, see the slave son, older than the old world, younger than the dead one. I want what's hidden there. Quatius qual, summon it for me. And then I guess they summon it. They're talking in a language we're not privy to. And it's creating, well, I guess they're summoning the slave son. But it looks like a giant snake at the moment. And it vaporizes, or it's still like, it's like very liquid, like solid liquid. As it's trying to take shape, it can talk to, and we're not privy to that conversation. And it's like, nonsense, Qual. The death of a star is a small price to pay for the favor of Saturnine. Oh, hey, there's an ad here for, which is pretty smart for, like, any ads should be noted probably. You can see what was popular in 2020, which was a store called the Prop Store that had a cool Punisher shirt, um, Jessica Jones jacket, Luke Cage's jacket, hoodie, and Daredevil proper. It reminds me of my Captain America jacket that, has the Captain America mask as the hood. And it's Daredevil, which now I've been wanting the Magneto one for a long time, but now I really want this 90s X-Men brown bomber jacket. Um, are all bomber jackets brown? Perhaps. And so, hoping it's too late now for Christmas, but my birthday's in January. I'm like, maybe if I keep telling Walker D, maybe he'll tell his mother, and that's what I get for my birthday. Which, by the way, Walker D had his birthday. It went very well. I could have been not such an no doubt about it all, but his friends made a FNAF, a Luigi meets FNAF, or a FNAF starring Luigi movie. So you want to check that out. It's at Walker D World on YouTube, and I don't know, it's getting a lot of views. So I don't know if the his four friends are promoting it or something, but it's, I don't know, it's getting some views on, because I made, well, like I said, I could have been not no dad, but uh, I was like, well, it's only gonna get 6 views, and it's already like triple that. So good on them. And then they made a Christmas special, which mentally I was like, well, probably could have saved that for Christmas, but they wanted to post it, and so they had a fun time. And so you talk about Saturnine, you flip the page, and there we are, Oppo Luna Saturnine, Omniversal Matrix, Keeper of the Celestial Peace, the White Light of Otherworld, the Eternal Seat of the Starlight Citadel. She likes the Citadel, as the years later she'd be still getting one in Realm of X. So she's um, this is the place of the light of all universes, yet I am blinded by darkness. Some clouding of tomorrow by the fire and ash of war, as she finds a gizmo that looks like a fancy ancient box. The spoils of the spirit land and conflict that lies between them. I am blind, but I would see. And so let's see what the future holds, shall she? And now we're going to look at some tarot cards that are very cool. We see the Judgment card, which is interesting choices. She's in a panel at the top, and then we see the fancy tarot card. And it's just 5 cards, so 5 beautiful pages. So she says Judgment, and we see the Judgment card, and it has Apocalypse, and then standing next to him is an unknown lady, I think, at this point. Finally, an irreconcilable change. From here, there is no going back. Surrendering to rebirth is the only path ahead. The next card is the Four of Wands. The labors of a community, a family coming together for a black ceremony, a baptism of blood, and this would be the new Four Horsemen, which is gonna be, oh yeah, because the lady next to him is Genesis, like 3-year-old spoilers. And these are their kids. The Hangman, Sacrifice, curious, can any of them be trusted to throw themselves on the pyre of change? And so we see the Hangman, it's Apocalypse leading a team of Beast, Havoc, a lady, Glob Herman, Richter, Banshee in the air, Angel in the air, Polaris also in the air. And top three were horsemen of his, because Banshee was in Uncanny Avengers for that horseman group. And then she says the Eight of Cups, disillusionment, abandonment. That which was once the harmonious lifting of voices is now a mocking echo. Then silence. And then finally, the Ten of Swords, because the X of Swords is really Ten of Swords. Betrayal. Betrayed by those you would show your back. A loss, but an unexpected one. Ten of Swords. One always expects the sunset hours after the dawn. And we see a bunch of characters of swords. Team Cable has a sword and a gun, because, Team Cable. Apocalypse has a gun, or a sword. Big old curvy one. Wolverine, Logan has one. Magic has her soul sword, which is cool. And I just was reading the Kitty Pryde Shadow and Flame miniseries and how she got one of the 5 ancient swords, and we never got. Oh no, we're told one of the other ones is the Mesa Moon, which shout out to all RPGs that have the Mesa Moon, and then 3 others, but we never got picked up on what those other ones were, which disappointing. Another Betsy has a sword, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's 5 behind them, cloaked figures. I know one Storm with a lightning sword. One Cerebro turns to a sword. Like I said, I heard Comic Book Careers Legacy talk about it. I want to say Uncanny X-Cast may have come back for the beginning of X Swords. I know they were cold on it, Rob and Brian, and then Brett and Evil Jeff of Comic Book Careers Legacy were warm on it, I want to say. But I know one of the big controversies was it was set up to be like a big tournament, and it turns out it was maybe 10 fights, so 5 actual fights and 5 like reality show competitions type of things. And that was Ten of Swords. And just reading this is going to make me want to check out the actual crossover. And then there's the Internals by Jack Kirby, the complete collection, just in time for the movie. There's 7 pages of Iron Man, Pepper, and Captain America as Iron Man runs into a plane. Donnie Cates and Nick Klein's Thor, Volume 1's coming out. Which I never heard of Nick Klein, but he spells it just like me. But Nick without a K, so curious. A lot of people say Klein brings the excitement of the story to life beautifully. Geeks worldwide. That's nice. And then this double page ad for Where Were You When the Lights Went Out? Dark Ages, a saga of the Marvel Universe Fall 2020. Writer Tom Taylor, who I don't recognize. Artist Eben Colello. Color artist Brian Reber. Letters VC Joe Sabino. And production Carlos Lau. So, and Jay Bowen designed the logo. And then there's another crossover, Al Ewing, Dan Slott, Valerio Schilly, cover by James Shea. Is it Avengers Fantastic Four Empire? The Empire for Y instead of an I. The Enemy of My Enemy, the earth-shattering event of 2020, on sale now. And I feel like people talk about Empire, but I don't think it went anywhere. And then we get a page for X-Men. Jonathan Hickman, Pepe Larraz, R.B. Silva, The House of X, Powers of X hardcover that I have on my Christmas list, but I don't know if anyone's getting it for me. A jolt of adrenaline to the X-Men, IGN. Bold, risky, unconventional, but also absolutely genius. Comics The Gathering. It's a brave new world for the House of X, and it's one X fans would absolutely love exploring. Uses of Rama. I know, because like my wife, and there's a back cover ad for Kelly Thompson's The Black Widow. Because like my wife wanted like a Christmas list, like maybe the beginning of November to like take advantage of sales or whatever, and then I don't know, the beginning of December. I'm like, you know what? I pretty much haven't turned on the PS4 in like a month. Like I pretty much um Fortnite's Chapter 4 was coming to an end with their OG season, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna watch the live event. I set up for Walker, which he has a video about that too. Um, can't believe that kid's 10. Well, I mean, I can't believe it because it's been 10 years. Oh no. And so, she got me all the classic like video game stuff I'm always asking for from like GameStop membership, the PlayStation Plus, which it used to be a $45 card you got on Black Friday. And then last year they were like, no, dog, it's like $70 now. So I was like, well, that stinks. And she usually treats me to like a Costco bundle of gift cards for PlayStation. So then I probably would just renew that so I can spend another year downloading games I'm never going to play. Mostly because of the part-time job and work 4 nights and have 3 nights off, and usually I just go to bed like an adult. Um, but now I'm like, oh shoot! Right now I'm all into like I'm missing 40 Lucky comics, and so now I'm like, I wish I had asked for um, a $60 Mile High Comics gift card, and then just keep that until they did another big discount sale, and then just knock it off. But I think every time I get paid from the part-time job, I'm going to treat myself to an eBay comic. Which I was doing the math because I just bought X-Men Grand Design Second Genesis 2, which has Lockheed on like one page of it. But to own all Lockheed appearances, it's a lot of owning a comic for one panel. But I was like, man, I spent $10 on that to like, buy and ship it. And so I'm like, oh, like, I bet that would have just been a $4 comic on my comics. But still, chipping away at it. It's a fun thing as a reward for my brain to be like, yeah, man, work 2 jobs. I deserve a comic, like 2 comics a month. And 20 months, I own all those books. And that's pretty awesome. So that's my plan. The House of X, Powers of X, I don't know, have I even read the whole thing? I feel like I've heard so many descriptions of it and seen pages of it. I have it in my head, but I own issue 1 now of House of X because it has Kate Pryde and Lockheed on a page, and so that's pretty awesome. And so as could the Krakoan age perhaps ends, I've just been really into like wanting to do comics, and I'm working on a secret 2024 project that if you follow me on Twitter at JackoSII, you might have a hint of what it's doing, but I'll announce it on New Year's Eve. But that's the stuff to look forward to. And let me see if this idea works. But I was going to talk about what comics were on sale this week. Yeah, it looks like it's still recording. And so, the week of December 17th, Wolverine 40 comes out. Spider-Man's in there. Astonishing Iceman 5, I believe, is the conclusion. Uncanny Avengers 5 is concluding, perhaps. Uncanny Spider-Man 5, that's the comic of the week for me. John the Hitman's Gods 3. Spine Tingling Spider-Man 3. That's curious. I wonder if that is going to have Madeline Pryor in it. Daredevil Black Armor 2, which I believe is a 90s retro series, but it has Hobgoblin and Sabretooth. Original X-Men 1 with Greg Land art. And then ROM X-Men Marvel Tales 1, which if I had a comic book store, I would buy this again just because at one point Marvel is not going to own the ROM rights. And it collects ROM 1718, which are like pivotal rogue stories, and then ROM 31 and 32. And so owning those 4 issues in this collection, you will legit have the beginning appearances of the most terrifying Marvel villain they have, which is Hybrid, and he has a story. Which I don't know why Marvel, Disney Marvel doesn't just buy the rights to ROM and just like it can't be that expensive, except for whoever owns the rights is clearly like, well, one day you're gonna want these, so $15 million, and they're like, sure. And then you just make a ROM movie, and boom, you have all that money made up. So, so I don't know. Maybe I will try to eBay that on Tuesday. Um, So, yep, that was X-Men or Free Comic Book Day 2020 X-Men and knocking that out. So, I doubt Kate Pryde's going to be in any of those comics. I doubt Magic is going to be in any of those. And I also doubt Lockheed will be in any of those. But if they do, we'll add them to the week. But if not, this is the beginning of the week episode, and then we'll do another What If at the end of the week and see if Christmas knocks our recording schedule off. But until then, I'll talk at you next time. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. Bye.